Alright, everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So no big intro stuff this time. We're just going to dive straight into the Spy Family chapter stuff. I'll try to do probably channel updates sometime next week once things have finally kind of really slowed down. Work is officially slowed down this weekend, but still recovering from that a little bit. So next week I'll happily have an update about channel stuff and read-throughs and all that sort of good stuff. So with that said, let us dive straight into it with Spy Family Mission 62 Part 2 by Tetsuya Endo. Again, I'm going to plug this at the start of this. If you haven't already watched the anime or caught up with Spy Family, I cannot recommend it highly enough. The anime has been doing an outstanding job so far adapting the material. It's been really polished, really good looking. Voice acting has been really great. So if you haven't checked it already, highly recommend it. It's been the highlight of my week so far. So that said, let's dive straight into the chapter. We pick up with where we left off last time with "This is not a drill. I repeat, the Austanian army has crossed the border." Oh, and you see poor little soldier Lloyd just looking all shocked and confused as he's like, "What? Oh, of course. Sorry, I forgot to do give credit for translation by Casey Lowe with the lettering by Rino Mappa." And you see a fwee as something comes rocking out of the sky and a boom as there's a giant impact crater. Ooh. And poor little Lloyd gets blasted away by the force of the blast, and you see a rock just coming and hitting him in the face and knocking him out. Oh, and you just see this giant what on the page, and you see as you see poor Lloyd picking himself up from the wreckage, looking all bloodied and bruised and battered. He's like, "How? When did Croquet Lady? What just? Oh, god damn." You see that poor Lloyd looks up and the Croquet Lady shop has been completely decimated. The roof and everything has just collapsed completely down on top of it. And he's just looking at it in shock. Oh my god. And you see the next one, he's looking, every single building around him has been completely decimated in just a magnificent double page spread. Like, oh my god, the impact of this. Oh, jeez. The way that Tetsuya Endo has just drawn, like, the look of sheer shell shock in Lloyd's eyes. God damn. You see, what? Huh? And you see, I need to zoom in here a little bit. Yeah, if I need a stretcher over here, it's like, "Mom!" It's like, "My daughter's under there." It's like, "No, don't move her." It's like, "We don't need that. Hurry up, drop that and go." And you see people trying to do rescue efforts as they're trying to dig people out from under the rubble. And you hear another boom as Lloyd just twitches. And you hear some older people going, "Hey kid, what are you doing? The Austanian army's coming, we've got to evacuate." He's like, "Austanian? But they said there wouldn't be a war." And then you see Lloyd's mother running towards him, shouting something unintelligible. And he looks at her in surprise. And she drops down to her knees and hugs him and goes, "You're safe, you're okay. What were you doing out here?" He's like, "Mom." He's like, "You're hurt." He's like, "Oh, I was wearing my helmet, so I think I'm okay." He's like, "Oh, thank heavens." So we need to go home and gather our things. We'll go stay with my uncle in Kielberg. And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Wait a minute. So we can't. What about school? And the town fair is tomorrow." So what are you talking about? There's not going to be any town fair. Don't you get that? Oh, man. And then you see, as they're walking through the town, you just see various impact craters, overturned, burnt out vehicles and buildings. You see, looks like kids' shoes and purses, like little ice creams and treats just dropped on the street. Looks like a statue or a park where it's just flaming wreckage. Oh, man, and you see Lloyd just being dragged by his mother. As you see, the bridge that he crossed with his friends has been completely destroyed, as is the little surplus building they're playing in. And then you see poor little Lloyd just curled up next to the bookshelf, his knees drawn up to his chest. As you hear on the radio, despite continued resistance from the Westalis army, the eastern region of Luan has fallen. And you see, I think the uncle comforting the mother. As you have in a statement made on the 18th, Prime Minister Odner said, and you see baby Lloyd thinking, "Grown-ups are such liars. They said there wasn't going to be a war. All the important people said there'd be a pact, and that in our countries would be friends. And you see news broadcast with that the region suffered significant civilian casualties. It's like, even my own dad. He promised me that when he came home we'd go to the town fair together, but he didn't come home. It's like, then again, I'm a liar too. I told a lie to get 10 dalt, didn't I? When Dad finally does come home, I'm going to tell him the truth. I have to tell the truth. You see his poor little toy soldier helmet with his crack off to the side. And you see thoom, and he starts twitching. You hear more shelling. And he goes running towards the mom going, Mom! It's like, thum, thum, it's like, don't worry, he'll be okay. Everything will be okay. And you see a Mom! It's like, I want to go back to Lewin. And you see a thoom and a creak as the house is getting shaken by the explosions outside. She means, like, what if Dad came home and we're not there? And I want to play with my friends again. As he has his mother just hugging him tighter. I assume the implication of her being quiet is that his father's potentially dead. I'll talk about this at the end of the chapter once we get to it. But I don't think I mentioned, but I think speculation is supposed to be that he was also, or Lloyd's father was also a spy, but not completely 100% on that. And you see the next day with the splash, now I got it! As you see little Lloyd sitting off the edge of a little bridge and fishing. I bet Mom will be happy to have fish tonight. There hasn't been much food lately, so you see woo, woo, woo. Oh, god damn. And you see the air raid sirens going off. It's like, it's an air raid! Everyone to the shelter! So let's go, you need to get in there! And one of the adults just scoops up Lloyd and starts dragging him. He's like, wait, but my house is... It's like, we gotta hurry. It's like, ow, don't push me! He's like, boom, boom, and like, gah! Wah! It's like, get all the way in. So we'll be okay, we'll be okay, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. Do you have an eek? It's like, someone shut that kid up. It's like, Mama, Mama. It's like, eep. It's like, damn, Austinian bastards. It's like, is it over? It's over. It's like, eek. It's like, hey kid, don't open that door. It's like, get back here, you dolt. It's still Dean. And you see poor baby Lloyd just opening the door for the shelter and running out into the street screaming, Mom, Mom. It's like, Mom, Mom. And you see a book is punctuated with these boom sound effects and like just these jagged lettering bubbles and like jagged panels. Again, the artwork in this chapter has just been really phenomenal, kind of getting it back, kind of the impact and the shock of this. Do you have the house? Like, no way. It's like, no. It's like, Mom, is that you? And you feel like, ah! And a giant boom. Oh my god. And you see just a single blank white panel with like these tiny floating specks. Again, cannot understate like the simple impact of just that lone page alone. Jeez. And you see poor Lloyd sitting in the bombed out street where his house was, just crying. Yeah, for years afterward, I scuttled through life like a rat in a gutter. I'd lost everything I ever cared about. The only things left in my world were the things I despised. And that was reason enough to pick up a gun. Now you see young adult Lloyd dressed in an army uniform carrying a real gun now. And you have Roland Spoofy, born in Lewin. Are you really old enough to enlist, young man? And you see, oh God, smiling Lloyd going, yes sir, 18 years old. Unfortunately, I lost my birth certificate in the bombing, so... And you see just in brackets lying. You have a rat-ta-ta-ta-ta. It's like, hey, what should we do? And you see a bizz as someone sparking two wires together. And you have a boom! And a click as one of the enemy soldiers is coming through a doorway and a bomb gets set off. It goes, how many thousands of bodies, how many tens of thousands of corpses had to pile up before I'd finally see the light of dawn on the horizon. And you can just see this absolutely haunted look in his eyes as you have and a clunk as he's hiding out in the woods somewhere. And he pulls out his gun and shoots off a warning shot. Oh, and you see your baby Frankie with the time out, stop, don't shoot. As we have a to be continued. So, I don't even know where the hell to start. So last chapter I think I speculated that, you know, this was going to end up being a fake out that was going to lead to an actual war. And it turns out I was completely off base with that. But, oh my god. I think because we've had like so many kind of light, not lightweight, what's the word I'm looking for? It's all whimsically, like we've had some lighter chapters, I think, leading up to this, which I think has kind of made these scenes more impactful when you kind of go back to a little bit of the roots of the series, which is supposed to be the whole we're trying to stop the conflict between Westalis and Stania, and like stop another war from happening. So I feel like we kind of get lulled into kind of a false sense of security with all the happy-go-lucky family stuff, like the Anya faces, the little bits of comedy and things that happen. So we get to like when we get to like the darker moments of the series, I think it makes it land so much more impactfully when we do get stuff like that. So yeah, I mean Lloyd backstory was something I think everyone was kind of expecting at some point. I didn't think it was going to be as dark as this was. Like, literally having to see like poor baby Lloyd like going through the horrors of war, like seeing like everything from his perspective. Just again, like I cannot comment on the artwork 'cause I'm not super knowledgeable about it. But the way the shading is done, like all the double page spreads, just the way they've drawn like all the destruction has just been beautifully done to kind of drive home the impact of how atrocious this all is. And it's just, man, like, yeah, definitely makes, or definitely contextualizes a lot of Lloyd's behaviors and attitudes now that we know, like, why he's so hell-bent on succeeding in his mission and everything else, contextualizes a lot of that. And I love that we're trying to like kind of seeing like his little foray into like becoming a spy, like how he made all his contacts and everything. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of that get explored and yeah, seeing more of that explored. But like I said, that was definitely a heavy, heavy chapter. Phenomenal series again. It's definitely one of the highlights of the series running in Shonen Jump right now. I think that and Kaiju, like I've said multiple times before, are our two running favorites. So if you haven't already checked it out, I don't know why you'd be watching this video if you haven't, but if you haven't checked it already, I cannot recommend it enough. It's such a great series. Yeah. So as always, thank you all for joining me for these read-throughs. If you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'd still like to surpass that 150 barrier sometime soon, so if you could help me do that would be greatly appreciated. Also look for the Kaiju videos to drop sometime this evening as well. Like I said at the beginning, hopefully I will have a channel update video out sometime next week with read through plans, things like that. Till next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.